Good evening. Hope you're all well. Nice to see you all. I'm just going to answer a couple of these questions. And I'll be with you very soon. Okay, tonight I put a video up about basically when I first tried hair the dog. Hi, Soap, how are you doing? Because the first time I tried hair the dog was after a long spell on the booze, about 3 or 4 days. And I felt so rough. I thought, the only thing that's going to pull me out of this is another beer. And from then on, I think it was basically, I never sort of looked back after that weekend. I remember that weekend quite well. I went with a few more people who joined because it was a long weekend when I was in the Met. A place we used to finish 2:30 on a Thursday. And I used to try to avoid the Thursday club type thing because it was like 2:30 start. And I used to go home, but not home. I used to go to my own pubs. I sometimes used to like drinking on my own, to be honest. In pubs. Not being pressurised to go to the place. And I used to think, well, I'll avoid this. This Thursday thing. One day I went and I thought, well, it's cheap beer in the police club, so I got a few beers on board. And then, hello Alex, how are you? Got a few beers on board, and I thought, well, I might as well stay in the West End for a while. Anyway, basically I drank all that Thursday. And my wife had got a job and she was working away. Hello Neil, how are you doing? So it was like a license to mess around, wasn't it? You know, you heard that expression, when the cat's away. And when the cat's away, the mouse will play. You know what I mean? Simon, okay, if you text me on this number, I can give you a hand, I think. There's also a link in the description of all the videos where you can get, I'll do one-to-one mentoring and support, which has proved very useful, actually. You need a business time, fair enough. The number's there. Rain's 3 days on the source, try 365 days on it. That's been early. Yeah, I was drinking for about 25 years, full on, you know, Alex. The odd time off, but it's a long time, isn't it? Hello, Samantha. Nice to see you. Hope you're well. The weather's turned, isn't it? Time for a holiday, I think. Bit of sunshine. Hello, John. How are you? How are you doing? Nice to see you. Yes, Simon, just go to the link in the description, and there's a link in there to one-to-one. Seeing this up, if I were to binge 3 days, I'm pretty sure it would kill me. Yeah, it was just one particular weekend. I thought, oh, I'm sort of home alone. And when I was home alone, I thought, wow, it's great. There's me and the dog. And I mentioned it before, but I thought, well, I'll have Thursday at the police club a little bit, go to the West End. Friday I was drinking, but I wasn't actually, I was only 30. I wasn't actually getting any physical symptoms from it, you know. I was pretty much just a heavy drinker. And what happened was, I thought, well, the next day I felt a bit rough, so I didn't have a hair of a dog then. And I went to the local pub and had a couple more. I felt a bit better immediately. It's the first time I tried to take away the pain with it. Hello, Paul. Hope you're well. How's Durham side? So the hair of the dog thing, to me, was a bit of a fixer. Let's go. So I went on the Friday, drank all the Friday, but it's on the video. Well, please watch the video. It's got a lot of hits on it already. It's just basically 3 days on the sauce. But it lasted longer than that. I keep taking days off. Not on the sick, but I had loads of annual leave, so I need another day's annual leave. But I never really got over that. I don't think. I always thought when I had hangovers and sort of withdrawals after that, I'll just have another drink, I'll be all right. But obviously that catches up with you, doesn't it? So at the point when you think you're needing a hair of the dog, that's when you're in serious trouble. Well, that's what I pinpointed to anyway. That particular weekend. And I remember that weekend so well because a few different things happened. But I just remember where I was, what I was drinking, what I started drinking, which pubs I was in. All this. It's going back a long time, about 30 years ago. So bad, hair of the dog at 18, not because I needed it, just because I wanted to get pissed all the time. I was on my home leave, probably more of a bender than hair, understand, yeah. Got you. Doesn't hair of the dog make you feel better for an hour and then it makes you even sicker? Yeah, basically. It's just, you have a drink to try and stop the shakes, in my case, and try and stop feeling so unwell. I used to wake up feeling dizzy and feeling rough, but I did that hair of the dog thing a few days in a row. So the Friday night was bad as well. Friday, I didn't have much to eat, a little bit to eat. Saturday, I was up again early because you don't sleep properly. And I was then on the booze again Saturday. I thought, well, I've got the next shift's going to be Monday night. So on a Saturday, I think, well, I've got loads of time. It's about booking a holiday and you've got to come back at 6 o'clock on the Friday or something. You think, oh, I'll be all right. You don't realise you've got to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's one of them things. So the Sunday came around. I thought, wow, I've got a bit of the Sunday fears. And even though I don't have to be back on duty till 10:30 Monday, I thought, well, I'm going to get out of this. And so I had a bit more drink. Because you do, don't you? Lower inhibitions, drink a bit more. Hi, Scott Bob. And then you sort of panic the next day. So even on the Sunday night, I drank right through the Sunday night and the Monday morning. I thought, well, I've got to 10:30 to recover. I couldn't recover. So I managed to get about 4 o'clock and rang the admin officer. I need some days annual leave. And I had plenty of annual leave, fortunately, to take. And I extended that for about a week. And I knew then I had problems with alcohol. But I didn't do enough about it. But that's a different story. So if you are feeling like this hair of the dog is going to cure you for a couple of hours, it will, but it won't do any good long term. And at that point, you're pretty much gone, I think, Alex Bertie behaved himself last night. Let's see what tonight holds. We even know what version of him we get. Yeah, you never know. No, he's a strange one, isn't he? Hiya, 69. Colin keep it up. You're doing a good job. Thanks, Colin. Nice to see everybody here. We've got 40 people here, which is good. As I said last night, if you want to support the channel, please do. The more support I get, the more people support the channel, the more I can do with it, basically, and the bigger we'll get, and the stronger we'll become, and the more healthy we'll become. Hopefully, that's the end game, isn't it? And the more people we can help, the better, really. So the coffee link's there. If you want to hit that, or the buy me, the super chat as well. Hello, Catherine. Hope you're well. So basically, as I was saying earlier, when you're reaching for the bottle in the morning, or when you've stopped drinking again, you've got to seek some help. And I did in the end. Really, it was a couple of years after that, I went to the doctors and cut down and all that. I couldn't, But another thing that was mentioned to me today was this moderation thing. Can you drink in moderation? You wouldn't tell your kids to smoke in moderation. You wouldn't tell your kids to take heroin in moderation. So why do we think that taking alcohol in moderation is okay? Because it's not, is it? Not for us. Bertie, talking about me like I'm not here. He might not have been. So yeah, how do we moderate? We get this thing from the doctor even. Just cut it down. Try and moderate your intake. You wouldn't tell that to a smoker. What you wouldn't say to a smoker? Right, you're smoking 40 a day, just have 35. It doesn't make sense, does it? And GPs will tell you that to this day. Cut down. Cut down. You don't cut down cocaine. You stop. And if you've got high blood pressure, you stop eating pies and fish and chips, don't you? You change your lifestyle. We're not told that. That's the problem. We're just told to cut it down a little bit and moderate it and all this. It's a lot of nonsense. Anyway, we'll forget about Bertie. Let's crack on. So has anybody else had the hair of the dog experience other than the sub, which I did when I was 18? I didn't do it until that time. But once I'd done the hair of the dog carry on, and I knew maybe slightly better, then I carried on with that on holiday and stuff. And then it became a sort of semi top-up drinker. And then when I retired, Then I was just top up until I managed to get off a couple of times and went back on it. So I think I was pretty much hooked in my late 20s, early 30s on booze. But I managed to function to some degree. But there's no such thing as a functional alcoholic. You don't function to a very good level at all, Simon, for me, it's evening binge drinking. Not good. No, it's a habit that though, isn't it? Finish work and come home and have a drink. Even at night, I used to come home and have a drink because the night time was when I was working. So in the morning, it was like my time off, Were we watching anyone else had people who were intentionally still enable you drinking even when you're up front? 100%. People like to see you down, Robbie. That's the problem. There'll be a lot of jealous people when you get fit and healthy as well. Yeah, I agree with that, Scott. Enablers like to help you keep sick. I've even got a relative who doesn't speak to me now because I've got myself well. It's bizarre, very bizarre. People love to see you down in the rut, as it were. Cobalt, even Steve, I went for a scan following your advice. I do have fatty liver disease, but eating well, exercising, obviously staying sober will help this. Good. That's good news, Cobalt. I'm glad that you took my advice there because liver function tests can show 90% of the time is okay, even when there's some damage. So it's important to get a scan if you can get one. So does this kid know what wine tastes like? Not sure how we're talking about that. Neil, I did have a dog, but in 30s, it's the time you're alcohol. Yeah, I think so. I think we all knew, but we just denied it because we didn't want to stop because we knew it was a big part of our life. Maybe a lot of us enjoyed it. And it was a big change in habit and lifestyle, isn't it? Just to say you're not going to the pub or to drink something different. I mean, in those days, 30 years ago, there was no decent 0% alcohol. That beers, really. There was just that Klaus Tyler stuff, which is horrendous. Nobody likes to drink what I call pop Coca-Cola all night. There was not really an alternative to it. Just either didn't have anything to drink or you drank. At least there's some 0% now. 69, I think us individuals just have a lively personality, hard to switch off. I think there's a lot to be said there. Yeah, it's hard to switch off. A little bit hyperactive, maybe. But there's a lot of us, isn't there? A hell of a lot of us. Steve, I took my friend alcohol into hospital for him. He's dead now. I didn't understand then. There you go, Steve. You see, a lot of people don't even understand now that if you stop suddenly, you'll have a seizure, or you may have a seizure. You'll be very careful with this, much more careful than the general public realise. We're experts in here. There's some expert patients on here that are talking now who have been really ill with it and really poorly. And we as a group know more than any doctor does. And this has been a heavy drinker. There's more information here about how to practically stop, how to practically stay sober than you'll ever get from any GP. 100%. People legitimately don't want to get involved sometimes. It's like when they see something illegal going on, they turn a blind eye. I agree with that, yeah. Totally right. Go good on you, bro. Keep strong. Robbie Watson. The strange on the outside look healthy, and he touched on this point. So I think people struggle to grasp what's really going on behind closed doors. I totally agree, Robbie. Yeah, they do. They don't know. If you go and you're well dressed, he's all right. The best way to go is to roll out of stubble. Don't wash for a week. Get an old coat from the charity shop, put it in the skip a couple of times, get out again and wear that. And don't wear any shoes. You'll get help then. Seriously, that isn't a joke. But yeah, I covered up that I have a drink problem. I'm always cleaning my flat because of my missus. But I'm no different really from someone on a park bench. Exactly, I agree, Bertie. It could take anybody down. Doesn't matter what your personality is like, really. If you're a heavy drinker, you're gonna collapse with it. And it's not good. So if you'd like to support the channel, please hit the super chats or the buy me a coffee link. The more people that support it, the more can do with it. And it'll make it stronger, more current, more available for people, and the channel will grow. It's growing now, but it'd be nice to reach more people. And I think doing these lives helps. I think about an hour is enough, to be fair, on them, because we get quite a lot of information in an hour. Marita, 3 weeks sober. Thanks to these live streams. Oh, great spot. That's good, Maria. I'm pleased you've done 3 weeks. It's magnificent, that really. Really good. Steve, you need a lot of money to drink full time. You do. I'm in central London. I spent a fortune. You can imagine, can't you? It was just non-stop. It was party time. And as I mentioned before, the 80s and 90s, it was an expectation of you that you would drink heavily, and there was a lot going on. And then obviously the pubs, just Scope was very expensive. And obviously the pubs were busy, and then when it became all day opening, well, we just could drink anytime, couldn't you? But you never give up. Don't throw the towel in. Of course not. No, you've got to be strong. It's too easy to go back to the pub, isn't it? And drink. It's much harder to go into a pub and have a soft drink, or just don't go to the pub at all. You've got to change your habits. And once you change your habits, things will get better for you. I know that from personal experience. Because I think I mentioned it before, there's a guy in hospital with me, and you actually knew him. He's a lot younger than me. He's on the verge of death. He's got jaundice. He's been given less than 6 months to live now. He was told around about the same time as me in 2019 not to drink again. And he did drink again. And there you go. It's horrendous. But he just couldn't give up. The power of addiction is the problem, isn't it? Once a week helps me, Stephen. Chat. I'm quiet. No bother, 69. John Doe, this is very true indeed. So we've got to be strong. We've got to keep off the booze, and as I mentioned last night, preventing relapse is the thing. Got to prevent the relapse, because if you're going to relapse again, then to me that's the quickest way down. Preventing relapse got to be number one, and the only way you can do that is to keep it in your head of how ill you were, how you want to progress, and how well you can be. And look at the future. Never give up, as Bertie said. Never give up. I got much better financially for me when I stopped. Of course you will. Save a fortune if you don't drink. Because you don't have any of the ancillary costs like taxis, buying rounds, buying things you shouldn't buy when you've been sober. You wouldn't buy nonsense. The food that goes in the bin. So, Mara, when you start realizing you have a drink problem, you actually go out of your way to look smart, clean shaven, after shave to hide your problem. Deflected from other people's curiosity. Yeah, that's exactly what I did. I should have gone in a total mess and I would have got some help. They've gone, yeah, you're right there. My father was a big supporter of always getting dressed well before I got to see professional. I should have just gone in shorts and flip-flops and a vest. Rab C. Nesbitt. If I'd gone as Rab C. Nesbitt, I would have got the tablets. I know that now, but I wasn't clued up enough, was I? But with age comes wisdom, doesn't it? So any advice anybody who goes to doctors, go in a hell of a mess. It sounds a bit strange, that, but you don't want to be going in a three-piece suit with a Gucci tie. That won't get you anywhere. Hitting too soon. 69. So it's like if you keep appearances, everything will be okay. It's true, Scott. Yeah, I did that. A millionaire can be alcoholic. Only difference is they drink champagne. No different from people who drink the cider. Of course, it isn't. I agree, but it doesn't matter. It'll take everybody down. I used to clean drunk. I loved it. It's bizarre, isn't it? Hugh to who every day it was impossible for me. Run out of money, but 4-day banners were coming. Yeah, it's horrendous, though, isn't it, Hugh? If anybody here hasn't liked and subscribed, please do. And, watch the videos and get involved in all that as well. Flip-flops, let's go. Yeah, flip-flops, a white vest, well, whitish, grey maybe. I think I got loaded to make it funnier. That's the way to approach the doctors. Not, like I say, all dressed up. If you'd like to support the channel, please do. The more people I get to support, the more I do here for you, and the more I can do, more or less, really. It takes a bit of time. I'm glad you're all here again. I've got a nice steady group, about 50 people, but we're nice to get to 100. I don't know why I've got that figure in my head. So, Mr. Robbie, I always expected and demanded the punishment of feeling like garbage just for those precious hours of drunkenness. Yeah, it's a good way to describe it. I thought like 3 or 4 hours of having a bit of a laugh. You think it is. You think, I'm going to be rough for 2 days. What's all that about again? I'm saying that again. What's all that about? But it's true, isn't it? Why do we do that? Nothing else. There's nowhere else. There's no other hobby or interest that people will fight to pay to feel ill, which is effectively what you're doing, isn't it? You're paying for poison. But as Scott Bob says there, when you're sober, you have a much better time. You can see, feel, you can taste everything, if that makes sense. And you can be better off, be a better person. Get involved in, well, you don't get involved in anything when you're feeling rough. All you're trying to do is get rid of this feeling of being really rough and terribly ill, What word did you use for case of beer? You guys call it. So we start. Cobalt Jack, bought 3 coffees. That's magnificent. Thanks, Cobalt Jack. I really appreciate that. And let's put a little thanks in here. It was a slab of Stella. That's brilliant support that from Cobalt there. Bought three copies. The more people support, the more do, and more can do. I mean, not will do. Yeah, that's a slab. So 48 slabs of 24. It's just under 2,000. Crackers, isn't it? Robbie, I relate to this tremendously. I think it's an extensive struggle coming from the subconscious mind. Alex, someone mentioned last night about one-to-one interviews with current alcoholics in recovery. Would you do one? I should be interested to hear. Yeah, of course. I don't know how we'll set that up, but I will do it. Cobalt Jack, no problem, Steve. Thanks for the channel. Thanks again to Cobalt. Really appreciate the coffee. It's very useful to keep things banging away. Creative beer, I call it. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, it was just 24 cans in a slab. But I was so anxious I'd run out. How can I get to the point of being so anxious I'm going to run out? And I've got nearly 50 cases or 50 slabs of beer. It's madness, isn't it? John Doe at the moment, Sainsbury's are doing 15 cans of Kronenbock for 12 quid. Go to the pub and you'll look to get £2 for the same. Wow. That's incredible, John. I just like Kronenberg. But anything strongish. Dennis, good evening. How are you doing? Hugh the Hoob. I just shows you that what John mentioned there about the price of supermarkets. Beer's actually come down in price, isn't it? To buy for home. Do you know what it is? I saw a bloody Christmas advert on TV. I don't watch a lot of TV. I watch the news, all the news. I'm interested in the news. Apparently goes mad when you do watch the news. But mad, you know what I mean? And an advert came in for Christmas. It was from M&S. And I saw Christmas cards in the shops. And they're already starting to pile the beer high. Robbie, I believe in consequence and deserved hardship. If I'm going to make the choice to drink, I'm going to accept the punishment. Yeah, it's very odd, isn't it? Announced here in Canada, a case of beer is commonly called 2-4, especially out east. Right, that's interesting. Thanks for that, Urban. It's nice to contact different countries and that, isn't it? Yeah, it's brilliant. Robbie, Jamie Dodger. Wow, thanks for that super chat. It's amazing that. Thanks again, Steve, for continuing to inspire, educate, heal, and help guys like me reform ourselves into being positive. Wow, thanks very much for that, Jamie Dodger. Hope you're feeling a bit better. It is all about positivity, and I think that your brain rules your body in a way, doesn't it? Yeah, and I think it makes a big difference if you've got a positive mindset. And we know from people like myself and maybe the sub and a few other people who've been really ill with it, you can get well. You've got to keep fighting through. So again, Jeremy says, thanks again for Steve. Continue to inspire, educate, heal, and help guys like me reform ourselves. It being positive. Get there. You can get there. Just be strong for yourself, Remember, you've got to look after yourself first before you can look after others. It's very important. You want me, thanks for helping me on my journey. Thanks very much, Johnny. I appreciate that, Seeing this up here, I used to feel like I kept Labatt in business with how much I drank. I never tried that lager Labatt. It's about having resentments and being hungry keeps us drunk. You know what kept me drunk? The only thing that kept me drunk or kept me drinking from 2014 to 2019 when Lee died was the fear of having seizures. That's all it was. If I could have got some diazepam, even if it was just prescribed daily, I would have been fine. So it wasn't any fear, it wasn't any sort of I must have it. I was quite happy sober. To me, it was an emotional response. I got sort of pushed into it. I'll never be pushed into it again because I now know the consequences. So you've got to be a little bit wary of that. Nick Field, I hope you're all good. Yeah, all good, Nick. Nice to see you. Cobra Jack 33. Have you found with this? It's perhaps the worst shame knowing that others aren't necessarily doing the same or don't know that you are. That's an interesting one. I found with this, it's perhaps the worst shame knowing others aren't necessarily doing the same. I'm not sure about that one, but maybe that's something else can answer that for you. Thanks, Robbie, for your input. Huge Hoop had a 0.346 blood alcohol after falling down the stairs. Wow, that's pretty heavy, isn't it? So I sort of wonder if I ever go 3.5, probably did. 35%. So did you lose your job? No, not Alex. No, I retired. Because I was drinking when I was working, as in, socialising, but I got really bad when I retired. And that's when I had all the time, you see. And that's why things like COVID and the onset of AI are going to make a lot of issues, or make a lot of problems. A lot more people ill with it, because it's the availability, being able to get at the booze, because you're not on the on the train to work, you're not driving, and you've got nothing to focus on. So the tendency is to take, wow, have another drink, especially hair of the dog on a Monday. Just a quick statistic for you. We did a survey with the London Ambulance Service when I was in the Met, and the most common day for heart attacks in London was between 7 a.m. and 10 p.m. on a Monday. Stress to come back to work. It was nearly double that of weekends. It's crackers. But any excuse to drink, everything is a catastrophe to alcoholics in general. Try to justify that what they drink, usually blame it on anything apart from themselves. Yeah, I think I just drank because I enjoyed it and got hooked. John Doe, nice one, mate. That donation helps us out. It certainly does, John. Cheers. The more people who support, the more I can do. It's as simple as that. And we're getting a lot of new people, which is great. Since something not me, Birdie, I simply don't much like being sober. Ever since I was a kid, I have to retrain myself. But yeah, some people can come on and off, but we're all different. We're all individuals, aren't we? It feels very shameful getting alcohol delivered like that, especially at 1 a.m. Well, I did, yeah. It was there was nobody about. But I couldn't even get to the van to sign the checks or hand the card over at one point. I had to let them in. Really bad. Really bad. Robbie Purdy goes, I do think, though, that you can also have a weird level of self-awareness around it, where you're very much aware that you are the one creating your own problem. Yeah. But like I said, I couldn't stop because of the fear of these seizures. That's what I would say. If I just maybe pushed the medics a little bit more, I wasn't really a mindset to push it as far as I should have done. But I did try 2 doctors. Robbie Watson at Cobalt 33. On the plus side, it's relieving to discuss this openly. I do know of so many who have similar problems, but sort of minimise. Yeah, I think that's what we do, minimise it. We don't take it seriously. And this channel's going to be taken seriously now, because even I had to take that seriously. I thought there would be a few people on here. But now it's turned into something much more informative, where people are learning from it and people are actually taking some action, which is amazing, really, isn't it? Because we've got some good people like yourselves, the best people probably, on this channel for information. I know there's others that do a lot of videos. This is the only one that does this, as far as I'm aware. And it's helping a lot of people. Jamie, I watched Leaving Las Vegas. Buzzy screwed Elizabeth's shoe while being drunk, I don't think. I saw that Leaving Las Vegas. The only bit I can relate to is the check. We couldn't write the check. Dennis, some of the taxi drivers after hours, everything closed. They made a fortune running an off license. Back of the car late at night. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, taxis do that, don't they? Now, says my pub dilemma. Most pubs will have Guinness Zero and Corona Sunbrew, but non-alcoholic. But my AA friends won't go to a pub, and my non-AA acquaintances will order alcohol, which may trigger. I understand where you come from. The best thing is just keep away from pubs, isn't it? Change your lifestyle. It's not easy. Not easy. So Morris, Steve, absolutely on the second day of withdrawal, I was prone to having a full mal epileptic seizure. I went to cold turkey, such was my heavy dependence. I had what you call, I might have had that one first of all. What I had was, on my medical records, it shows my diagnosis from years ago. Tonic-clonic seizure. I still don't know what that is. I should chat GPT it or something, shouldn't I? Nobody had them. Tonic-clonic. God knows what that is. Nick, probably a nice one when sober, but that's what alcohol does to you. Of course. 69, 100%. As an American, I still don't get a lot of what you guys say. We're basically saying if you drink, you're going to die early. But I understand where you're coming from with the accent. The exchange from the other side must feel better. Of course it does, yeah. Urban, it took me a long time to be able to walk into a pub when I stopped drinking. First thing I did was order food. Full stomach helps the urge to drink well. I never had cravings like that, fortunately. But I understand people who do and think, I must have a pint. After being in hospital for a couple of years, I thought, wow, I wonder what it's like to try one. And I didn't, thankfully, because I know if I had one, I'd want to be social again. And I could never have one. So what am I trying to do? It's an impossibility, isn't it? To just have one when you're like us. Jeremy, has anyone seen the Louis Theroux documentary called Drinking to Oblivion? It's a painful thing. I haven't, Jeremy, but we'll look at that. That Louis Theroux is pretty good, isn't he? Might be worth noting down, folks, for that one. This Louis Theroux, he is pretty good, him. Probably watching. So this is such a good point I have found myself. It's kind of bizarre just how much food actually calms the nervous system in the way that we believe alcohol will do better. Yeah, food's very important, especially if you're on the up. And that you know what I mean by that. When you get to a point of wanting to be sober, and you go sober, you must eat properly. It's good about your English is probably better than the Yanks. A generalized. This is interesting, Christopher. A generalized tonic-clonic seizure, previously known as a grand mal, with also such new names, affects both sides of the brain and causes loss of consciousness and control of muscle movements. That's what I had then, yeah. I had two of those. Then I had some more in hospital when they drained the ascites fluid off. The gift thing's not working, Steve. Check it. Is that the coffee one? 69. Because that's easier. The coffee one, I think, is easier. I'm not sure. I'll check it, to be honest. There's a super chat and super sticker or something, and then there's a coffee link at the top there. Thanks, 69. Anyway, I'm sure it'll work at some point. Hope it does. Nick, a salty snack like peanuts stops alcohol cravings as it hits the craving glands the same as alcohol. Right? Funny enough, I always used to have peanuts or cashew nuts with a drink. I'll look into that, 69. You can try it again now. Urban Anx, yeah, I guess the answer is clear. Stay away from the pubs until I'm ready on my own without relying on company. But my ego still recalls why me. Well, exactly. I was going to do a video about that today. I've done it before. Why can't I just have one? It's so unfair. Do you know there's kids in wheelchairs? Children get cancer. We're in a lot better place than they are. So we've got to be thankful for what we got here. Most of us can walk and talk. A lot of people can't. Most of us will have some food available. Most have got enough to live. 70% of the world haven't got proper water. So really, as a group, we're not doing bad. And that's where we're going to focus on getting better. 70% once membership. Oh, thanks, Signature. I appreciate that. I like these memberships. They're really good. Thank you so much. Particularly interesting. I shall keep this in mind. Gift member. Thanks. I appreciate that. So it must work, but I don't know how it works, to be honest. It's new to me, that one, but I know I've seen a few in the past. And yourself? So, but when I was in rehab, we called seizure solids. Well, yeah, it's horrendous, isn't it? John Doe, leaving Las Vegas is brilliant fun. I don't care how much I've drunk. That's not a joke, or Lord John, maybe so. Robbie Watson, does anyone relate to the idea that perhaps there's a fear of actually doing the right thing, as in fear that we might be abandoned on some level? We actually take care of ourselves. I think what happens is you go with the flow, don't you? Your mates drink, you drink, everyone drinks, doesn't it? Well, that's what you think. But when you actually sober, it's amazing how many people that I meet, and I tell them now, because I'm quite proud of the fact I'm in the exclusive minority of non-drinkers. There's a lot of people, and good people, who look pretty good and pretty fit, who've had a drink problem. It's quite amazing. You can die from a seizure if you can, yeah. There's a lot of folk who've had drink problems. There's a lot of people who know someone's got a drink problem. There's a lot of people who know someone's been affected either criminally or health-wise by drinking too much. It's a hell of a thing. It's a hell of a substance, It really is. So, yes, I used to wake up after a seizure having a bit in my lip, tongue, and inside of my mouth. I did that as well. Usually urinated pretty horrendous. Sometimes it got that bad. I would have to drink to prevent seizures. Well, I had one in hospital with seizure. After I'd had this drain of the ascites fluid, and ended up in intensive care at 4 a.m. And they put some sort of needle in there down here to bring my salt level up, sodium, the sodium level up, because they said it was down to critical level where I could have gone to a coma and died because of the sodium carrier. That's all linked. There's so many things linked to alcohol you wouldn't believe. Well, some of us would, but when you're an amateur drinker, you don't realise. But when you get to our level in here, it's a different story. It's a dangerous game we're talking about here. Dangerous game. But these are all just life experiences here. I've seen women staring into the school run, getting their SUVs and drive to the gym. Yeah, I can imagine. There was a 19-year-old my daughter knew who worked in a nursery somewhere who was done for drink drive with kids in the car from the nursery, drinking a bottle of wine at 8 o'clock in the morning out of a brown paper bag. So it affects all ages, all levels of intelligence, all levels of wealth. It can take anybody down. Robbie, Stephen, something you mentioned before about people with alcohol problems actually often being rather empathetic and caring, particularly stuck with me. I think it's generally very true. Yeah, I think Robbie, alcoholics, or people I've spoken to anyway, they're very kind, overthinkers, empathetic, probably a bit too many people pleasers, that sort of thing. Quite soft. I don't mean soft in the head. I just mean, emotionally balanced, but a little bit good-natured is the best way to put it, really. Good-natured. Steve, every morning I think to myself, I can't carry on like this. Come back 4 p.m. back on it. That's the problem, isn't it? It's that 8-hour period. I've mentioned this before, If you'd like to support the channel, then please hit the super chat button or the buy me coffee link. It's at the top there. The more people support the channel, then the more I can do for you and everybody else. There's 2 levels here. This is 8 o'clock in the morning, right? And that's 4 o'clock. You've got to try and keep these two as far apart as possible. By 12 o'clock, you feel a bit better, don't you? 2 o'clock, you're feeling a bit better. Then something happens to work, you think, I'm fucking sick of this. 3 o'clock, I can't wait till 4, and then the line's crossed and you're back in the booze. Keep those 2 as far apart as possible. And all day think, I don't want to let this drop. This is 8 o'clock. This is 4 o'clock. And you make it further and further, to midnight. You see what I mean? As soon as you get these close together, you're going to drink. Simple as that. When you get the hair of the dog, you're in trouble, definitely. Sickness to Robbie, we understand misery and have empathy. 100%. Alex, I didn't drink until 3 p.m. today, and it's decent by my standards. Boredom took hold and ruminating about stuff in life, so I had some beers to call it. Maybe I need therapy. Possibly, Alex, yeah, possibly. Or just get it in your head that it's going to cause you harm. That's another thing, it's going to cause you harm. Urban, Robbie, what should I do relate? And the fear actually culminated in losing my bar friends when I sobered up. That doesn't matter. You're healthy. Quickly realised that I had no sober friends, and you know what? I found new ones. Exactly. You find healthier people. Mixed with good people, but healthier people. You do become feeble, yeah. Very good nature, aren't we? Good evening, Red or Devil. But it gets me so down and depressed. I just keep thinking to myself, why do I keep doing this? Because it's an addiction. And to fight an addiction, you have to be very strong. So every day you have to think about it. I don't want to get ill. I know lots of people say, I don't mind dying of something now. I don't mind. I like the booze. I'm in a habit. I watch the football with a drink. I have a drink with my son to lunch. I have a drink every day. But not everyone's drinking all the time, like a lot of us are, or have been. Jamie, Rains, Alex, you can do better, mate. Keep strong, and you're among friends and supporters. Yeah, reach out. We'll do the same. Yeah, I agree, Jamie. 100%. Everyone's here to support. Reese B, as former addicts, problem drinkers, our past journey makes us uniquely qualified to help support and guide others. Recover out loud, people. It really helps others. Yeah, speak about it, talk about it. It helps that, I'm definitely using alcohol as an alternative to antidepressants. I've never had antidepressants. I'm not on any medication now. I don't really like medication. The only thing I took throughout my life, really, was the diazepam, really. That was it. Nothing else. So it's like you've got to think about yourself. You've got to think about what you're doing. And I say some people do need antidepressants because there is such a thing as depression. I've never had it. Well, I had a little bit of it when I was ill. But the medics didn't seem to do much about it. It sort of disappeared when I got well again, if that makes sense. I just didn't think I was ever going to recover. Drink will be making you depressed, friends. If you stop drinking, you probably won't be depressed. That's a good point. A bit like anxiety. I was very anxious when I was drinking. So basically, your anxiety will go as well, because anxiety is linked to depression, isn't it? Anxiety makes you drink more, doesn't it? So it's all sort of dovetails in together, really. Anxiety causes depression, depression causes. Haven't seen Stoic for a few days, it was all right. Or Cars on last night, wasn't she? When I long strides, sobriety, I cling to liking the clear feeling, like the drunk feeling as a drinker. Yeah, you do. You love sobriety more than you love being under the influence. Under the influence is a young person's game because you can recover quite quick. When you get older, you tend to worry more. I mean, I don't worry at all now because I've nearly died. When you've had a life-threatening illness and you get out of it, you feel that you've got a second chance. And so you overcompensate and you eat well and you live well and you try and sleep well and you try and rest well and you try and become a better person. All of those things is good for you. All of those things will make you feel better and get you better. And that's the key to this, to be well again. Fitzy, hello, I hope you're well, getting some in the morning Australia. Well, I say, Fitzy, hope you're doing well. Australia, magnificent. All around the world, got Canadians on, Australians, Americans. That's an excuse what alcoholics give is I drink some. I think some people do get generally bored though. But once you pass that stage, then you can fill your time with something else. That's the thing. John, I was walk with 2 a.m. in a lay-by back when I was driving a lorry a few years ago by the police for a breathalyzer. I was literally legit. During the day, I had a drink when I pulled over. Right? Did you get done for that? I presume so. My dad told me, forget your liver. Think about what's it doing in your mind. It's very true that. What's it doing to your mind, Very true. Bloomis 2000. I once heard someone call alcohol stress in a bottle. Of course it is. 100% as well said that, Bloomis, yeah. I don't have faith in the law, unfortunately. No, I know what you mean. Sometimes it's a bit over the top. It depends on the individual, doesn't it? Individual officer, I mean. Rory Watson, I have a theory that a lot of what holds you back is this feeling that we are unsafe. When we can't trust ourselves to set boundaries that will keep ourselves safe and living sobriety. Soberly, yeah, you're right. It's just kidding yourself. Booze will mess your mind. It did with me. The first thing I noticed was the anxiety. Actually done. Scott, Bobby, your dad was very wise. Yeah, without a doubt, my head went before anything else, really, to be honest. Anxiety was off the scale. Oh, I didn't know it was a laugh night. Only just seen really do help. But have you got the little bell symbol on the subscription? If you stick that in, make the bell work as it were, set it on, you get all the notifications. I just say it's gone live. You know what I mean? That's what my Magpie. There's a better way of putting it than that, but there's a little bell on to get notified. This is a big question. Look at the emerging signs of why people engage in what some therapists might call self-thrashing, behaviour and the deeply ingrained beliefs in the driver. Interesting that. Hugh, my dad was a heavy drinker until his 40s. He quit because it caused high cholesterol and triglycerides, whatever that is. Yeah, it's bad for your health, basically, isn't it, Hugh? Bad for your health. So I'm a strong believer in patient detoxification to kickstart your journey in sobriety. You used to feel a new man after 10 days medication. Yeah, I agree. Well, I used to get, like I said before, the diazepam. And I feel great, but they wouldn't give it. But I never had any in-house. I just had inpatient. I just had it at home. I just made someone said, oh, someone's going to look after me. They were fine. Shanti, good evening all. How are you doing, Shanti? Nice to see you. A few drinks and my dark thoughts don't bother me, and time means nothing. That's the problem, isn't it? It takes a little bit of that away. Chummy, Steve, is there any way to discourage teenagers from drinking? My daughter has turned 18 and is starting to enjoy the alcohol. It's a difficult one as a father, isn't it? Because you don't know where to put the balance, but maybe just try and explain how it can affect her. It's not really formed at 18, And you've got to remember that women's livers are far less robust than men's. The female death rate from cirrhosis of the liver in the UK has gone up 35% in 4 years. This is a massive increase. Schoolboy, it's our culture, kids being allowed to drink. Very true. John, yes, I got 18 months ban. 12, I went to the alcohol awareness course. I wasn't drinking while driving, though. I never done the influence, just still got fucked over. Yeah, they do if you're drunk in charge, which is a bit stupid, isn't it? Really? I think they're always a bit of an ass at times. I agree. Especially when you parked up for the night. You two packs. I never did any traffic stuff. I was more crime related, so I don't know that much about drink drives, but I know that some people went out purposely to do drink drives. He had about 2 packs a day and drank it heavy. My dad got sober, passed away at 80, another 40 years was a blessing. Amazing, isn't it? That's good. Give it at 40. Drink drives, no. Yeah, he wasn't driving, but it's the thing. It's one of those things, isn't it? It's happened to a friend of mine. I was drinking regularly by 16, discouraged the kids. Yeah, I was drinking quite regularly as a teenager. But it was a bit like, how do you discourage them? Going to make them away, you know? Jamie, Submariner. Jamie got good at that. I don't think there is any way to do it. No, it's just advice, isn't it? Advice and guidance and decent parenting, we should be probably good at anyway. People will make their own mind of it, you know, kids will vote with their feet, as it were. I hope you get some benefit from these lives. If you do, then please drop a super chat in or buy me a coffee links at the top there. And the more people that support the channel, then the more I can do with the channel. That's pretty obvious, really, isn't it? And we're helping a lot of people here, and let's continue to do that and help more. Matthew, I used to do the 12 drinks of Christmas. The idea was to build the 12. It doesn't work when you're alcoholic. Of course it doesn't. Thanks, Matthew. When you're an alcoholic, you just want to drink all the time. You feel a need to drink. You feel a desire to drink. You feel not so much of a desire with me. It was more, God, I feel so terrible. I feel ill. And the only way I can get into feel any better was to have another drink. And this was completely offered. Johnny Submariner, yes, mate, I'm going to do my best. She's seen me defeated by alcohol. I'll try to explain what can happen to him. Yeah, that's the best way, Johnny. My daughter drinks, but not excessively. And she saw me in some horrendous states, especially when I was really ill, and sent me in hospital. In 2020, you kind of die because I needed to walk me down the aisle. And that brought me into, of course, it would any father, any parent. Good news, after 6 months, the liver heals pretty well if you stop. It can be scarred. Well, livers are scarred, but you can get back function, good function, if you stop drinking and if you watch your diet and do everything else right. You know, and just do a bit of exercise, try and get some rest in, and try not to stress yourself too much, because stress is without a doubt a big reason for relapse and financial difficulty as well. There's all sorts of reasons for relapse. Emotional things, you know, split with partners. I was at the hospital on the 5th of September. I got a check every 6 months. And I said, you know, do many people drink after they've had all this stuffed under them and they're on tests and all that? So we just had a guy in who was sober 18 years and his wife left and he started drinking again. So there you go, 18 years. And something came up in his life, in his marriage, and then he's back at the square one and behind, really. But he's so extremely clever alcoholics, but I still can't figure out how to stop drinking. There's only one way, and that's not to pick the glass up, isn't it? But it's not that easy, as we know. Never heard of the 12 drinks of Christmas. 69, wish I settled down. You will eventually. Although I'm ashamed to say that I have driven well in the influences of guilt I can't take back. I'm lucky that I've never hurt anyone of myself. 16 months sober now after 20 years of addiction. Well done, Devil. Well done. Pretty well done. Jamie, my young adult children rarely drink. They're supported by me though. They support me through the recovery. That's good. Yeah, that's good. I think kids will learn, and that's why I say I don't think there's a genetic link between, you know, getting to becoming alcoholic in the late teens or anything. I think it's maybe parent and child learned behaviour. If you see people in the family drinking a lot, then you might do the same as well and form the same habits. You know what I mean? That's what tends to happen, I think. you become similar, But the correct name's an alcoholic, and I'm clever. Well, there you go. So my son Tom was hell-bent on trying every single drug that there was going. He was a good kid. It just came out of nowhere like a switch inside his head. Bless him. Bloody hell. Yeah, some people just, well, like me. I mean, my father tried numerous times to stop me from drinking. He's in a mess, and you're doing well at your job, and it was just horrendous. It's a family thing to a degree. I think it is learned behaviour. Scott. James been on binge since last night. Wow. Drinking all night, James. What were you drinking, if you don't mind me asking? And how are you feeling, more to the point? It's so easy to do, isn't it? Just to drink round the clock. And my mother's 94, so often says the clock goes very slow when you're sober. When you're drinking, it whizzes past, doesn't it? Hugh wasn't Hemingway a heavy drinker, he wasn't dumb. Oh, of course they're not. No, there's very clever people being alcoholics. I think some of the Nobel Peace Prize winners were alcoholics. There's lots of folk very clever. It doesn't discriminate, does it? Alex, but not always clever. What you say in this chat, though, when under the influence, no. But basically, we here to get people healthy. We here to support each other, and that's what we've got to focus on, really. And there's other things going on in the world, obviously. But if you're not healthy and happy, then you won't enjoy what else is going on. Stoic, Wayne, stop trying to wind Bertie up, please. Yeah. Oh, Stoic was talking about you. Bertie, but why I haven't said anything bad? What you're on about, man? Don't start arguing, fellas. Ray Devil, good for you, mate. 16 months. Yeah, well done. Urban Bertie, but when drinking, I was so clever. Something's even I was smart myself. We've all been through phases with that, haven't we? But the main thing we've got to do is get sober. Stay sober, and we can all survive a bit longer. And also, I think it's another aspect of this getting sober, carry on. Well, first of all, you've got to preserve your life. Secondly, you can add some life to your years and do more. You can't do anything when you're lying in bed all day trying to recover, can you? Maybe not split, that's when drinking, I was sort of. I had 2 DUIs. Well, we should only support one another. We do. But you were talking about before I came in the chat. Hold on, someone else. Even Steve Jones a long time ago. I mean, the drunken charge thing, it's less common than it used to be. But still a lot of people do it, especially during the day. But it's difficult to do roadblocks in during the day because it just holds up all the traffic. But people will always drink drive. It's just one of them things, It's another problem that alcohol causes, isn't it? Drink drive and loss of faculty. I was speaking to a guy recently who's had too much to drink, drove and left the scene of an accident. He was a paramedic. He's out with court soon. So, nobody knows what's around the corner. James, I won't drink Monday to Friday. But it's like a habit. I need to get pissed on weekends. I feel like it's inbuilt in my brain. So how do you manage to sober up, James, for a whole week? That's like a whole weekend of boozing. That's a lot of booze, isn't it? Like a whole weekend, and then you suddenly got to get back to work. Because the fears of that, the anxiety for me would be off the scale. Not good at all. It's a bit like, I don't know how it's sober. I mean, the video I did tonight was about one particular weekend when I started the hair of the dog carry on. But to do it regularly, I would find it very difficult. Very difficult. I hope you're getting some value out of these, not one-to-ones, but lives, aren't they? If you do, please support the channel. The more people that support the channel, the more I can do with it, and the more people will get involved, and the more we'll learn. Because I think you need to learn all the time with it. Because it's just so easy for people to slip back. When you hear stories of, like I did on the 5th of September, it was only just over a week, that chap who was in hospital for a scan, he'd been sober for 18 years, and suddenly, bang, something happens in his marriage, and then he's back on it, and he's seriously ill again. So it can happen at any point, and that's why you need to be very aware of it. It just sits on your shoulder waiting to grab you back, doesn't it? It's very dangerous, isn't it? Yeah, no one's smarter than alcohol. It will take anybody down, like I said. And getting back to what I said earlier about this moderation, we never taught to moderate smoking. We never taught to moderate drugs. Why we're taught to moderate alcohol is just beyond me. Peter, imagine if you never got anxiety after drinking. Well, yeah, it would have been dead, wouldn't it? Probably. Yeah. But my anxiety was very acute. I mean, some people I used to drink with drank more than me. I had a high tolerance, but there's people that drank a lot more than me, and they didn't get any bother at all. Jamie, I won't drink on Sundays. I'm 29 in 3 weeks. Need to stop, mate. You do, man. Yeah. Well, hit the link in the description part. Or text me this number because you're only 29. You're going to be dead down to 35 at this rate. Because you will be doing some harm to your liver, your pancreas, your heart as well. You know, to drink like all day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, every weekend is crackers. But I know where you come from, James, because I've done it as well at times, you know. We've all done this sort of thing. That's why it's good in here. We all know what's going to happen. Well, some of us have had it happen to us. So in the 80s and 90s was a completely different culture with drinking and driving. As long as you didn't have an accident, you were okay. We called it driving the go. Yeah, it's true. A lot of people drink and drive. 70s, 60s, and 70s when my father was around, he was a local policeman. They used to drink and drive all the time. Robbie, something absolutely bizarre I've noticed is when I'm on sertraline at present, the rebound anxiety from drinking this intensity entirely gone. Wow, didn't know that. Because this anxiety was really bad. And that obviously causes you to drink more, doesn't it? Or drink again. But he said he started drinking at 3 p.m. Now he's drunk. Starting on me. Just ignore it, buddy. Just keep floating. Charles Bukowski was an American writer, notorious drunk. He wrote the screenplay for 1987 Barfly, which featured a very young Mickey Rourke. Well, I bet that's interesting. James, I have your number. I texted you earlier on WhatsApp. Okay, cheers, mate. Rodney Curtis, how are you doing? Nice to see you. Hope you're well. How's the cat? I believe you were against it. John Doe, those were the days. Yeah, the 80s and 90s. Big drinking culture then. It was madness, wasn't it? I mean, nobody batted an eyelid to spend 100 quid in the West End in the 80s and 90s. And it was just mad. Days and nights, wasn't it? 24-hour sessions, living in hotels. It was bizarre to say. I mean, there's only a few of us remember those days, really, but it was too much. Rodney, Rodders, she's good, thank you. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, all good. Going to Turkey soon. Friday, I believe. Get some heat. That's another thing, holidays. That was a big trigger for people, wasn't it? A lot of people who are sober are told to watch out for holidays. But I used to drink a lot on holidays anyway, but I never took a holiday without having a drink, really. And then I got sober for a while and I was enjoying my holidays. But the holidays when you're drinking aren't any different to being here, really. Because you feel rough all the time. You feel rough when you go for the airport run. You feel rough at the airport. You have a few drinks. There's a bit of a hair of the dog then. Then you drink on the plane. Then you get to the hotel. You don't even pack your bags. You go and find a bar. And that's you done for 2 weeks. You come back with half a suntan, about $2,000 short of money. And you got to go back to work again. And you're unrested. And you feel horrendous. And you've got loads of anxiety. And you're worried about going back to work. That's not a holiday, is it? It's torture in the sun. It's another crazy aspect of drinking too much, isn't it? Holidays are just a no-no for me. Now they're fine. I can go away anytime. I used to get the fear of flying as well. And for years I didn't fly. It was horrendous. I couldn't stay on the beach sober. I get bored. When I go on holiday, I need to plan things to do and see so I don't drink. That's good. It's a good idea, that, Cobalt. To have a plan of action. If you don't have a plan of action, then you're going to slip back. And you're going to become ill again. And that's another issue, isn't it? Scuba holidays are hard for us. At least for me, lots of anxiety and expectations, so I get loaded. Yeah, but it's a fantasy versus reality again, isn't it? When you're a drinker, you think, well, this really good holiday. I'm not going to drink too much, and I'm going to have a good time. It never happens like that. The reality is you're going to come back in a mess. And something's in a box. Some people have had accidents and all sorts. James, I'm an overthinker. I need a high at work. 2 coffees a Monster. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. You need something, don't you, to pull you back. Tom Ashton, happy Saturday, everyone. Yeah, Sober Saturday. It's brilliant, isn't it? If you want to support the channel, please do. The more people that support, the more I can do with this. You hit the super chat button or there's a buy me a coffee link at the top. Thanks to anybody who's supported tonight, and if you can do that, that'd be great. Sertraline is quite effective in countering the effects of certain anxiety disorders, but be careful, as with any medication, long term use could actually increase the anxiety. Well, nothing safe as a medication-wise, really. Bertie, no longer comment. Just listen. No, just keep commenting. Just mix in. Giorgio Charles Bukowski once wrote that when he first drank booze, he immediately thought to himself, "Now here's something I will do all my life." Yeah, I can relate to that. Probably other people can. When you have your first drink, you think, "Wow, it's quite good, this," because you think, well, it takes away a bit of anxiety, doesn't it? I'm talking about teenagers here. Makes me feel a bit better. But I know a few social drinkers, and it's a different ball game. That you won't get banned, but you don't. When you're young and fit, then it's easier to bounce back. Don't worry about it, you're fine. John Doe, 100%. I find beaches boring as fuck. I put up with it for an hour or so, then I need to do something. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, not. It's not particularly good land. The beach is 37 degrees. Any time of the day or night, really. But it is good for a bit of suntan. You've got to get suntan. But I know what you're saying. The holidays, when you're sober, you're going to enjoy the food, the atmosphere, and other things. When you're drinking, all you're doing is getting in a bar and shading away, aren't you? James, yesterday I made voice recording saying, "This is the last weekend event for me, so I can listen to the next one." So, no, it's a good idea, James. You really should be focusing on this. You're only a young man. See you later, Scooter. Goodbye. Catch you later. Urbanized Jojo, yes, lots of gold savings. So gold sayings, yeah, understand. Many which would not be appropriate for this chat. He is definitely one of my favourite writers. He is not a nice person by most accounts. Okay, I don't know much about him, but interesting. Stoke Bertie 2 was stuck up for you and warned rain to stop when your rain stopped. Just leave it now, mate. No one is getting banned. Yeah, well said, Stoic. And let's move on. Yeah, somebody mentioned here alcohol and social events. Basically, social events, you've got to try and mix in, but not be stupid, if that makes sense. And be still a positive person, be a good person, and get. Yeah, goodbye, Scott. Bob. We'll speak to you soon. Thanks for your input tonight. You always drop a lot of comments in. Thanks so much, Samantha. Hope you're okay. I've been about an hour here. I'm going to do about another 10 minutes, I think. So I've had quite a good chat tonight. It seems to be getting busier with more questions and a lot more information, which is brilliant. If you do want to leave a super chat in, please do, or a coffee, because the more people that support, the more I can do. That's how it works, and we're going to get a lot more people in a healthy state of mind and physically. John Doe, got to take it easy, mate. Yeah, so alcohol and social events. If you want to attend a social event, do so. Just remember that if you have one or two drinks, you're not going to end up a mess again. And I've always thought that, to me anyway, the 0% make a big difference. It's a bit of a habit, the 0%. And my partner sometimes says to me, "Oh, you're addicted to the 0%. Well, maybe I am. But it's better than being addicted to alcohol, isn't it? And I like a long drink. It's what makes me feel okay. Because it has no effect on your brain, and you feel great the next day, and you do what you want, really. But to stand with an orange juice, no chance. I've got to have something which is going to replace the habit, if that makes sense. It's all in the head, isn't it? My brain must have been fried with alcohol, post-anxiety and panic attacks. Now I can't even go in an elevator or an enclosed space. Complete madness, considering my job in the Navy. I was the other way around. When I was younger, I was really frightened of everything, heights and all sorts. But now I'm go anywhere. And I have been forced up the Eiffel Tower. Well, forced and on a big wheel. But never would do that when I was young. No chance. Everyone's different, aren't they? Joe Bukowski was not a nice person, but then again, who wants to be described as nice? Certainly not me. Fair enough. James, I thought it would hold me accountable to myself, but see the results next week and not much hope. James, just focus on keeping yourself. The weekend is no different to midweek. It's just another day. It's like people go crazy on Christmas Eve, on New Year's Eve. It's just another day, isn't it? Cool. Jack Guinness Zero is just great. It's the best one out there. And that's what you need to get the social. It'll get easier. That's what I'm saying. The more days you're sober, the stronger you'll become, and the more able you'll be to participate in everything you want to participate in. But I do more now than I did when I was much younger. I had more fun the last couple of years than I did in my 20s because I can see clearly, I can think clearly, I can enjoy myself, I can relax without alcohol. That's the key. If you can relax without alcohol, you're nearly there. Thanks, John, for the coffee there. Thanks so much for your support. I appreciate that. Appreciate all the support we get on here. Because, like I said, the more people support, the more we can do. Because there's going to be a lot of other things coming out of here. I've also got a WhatsApp group as well, which is doing really well, which is more like a private chat thing. If you want to have a look at that, I'll put the number up here for WhatsApp. There's a lot of good people on there because there's a lot of lonely people, that need just a bit of chat about anything, a bit of sport or anything. Because there are not always people around, is there? I'm only here an hour or so, and haven't got other numbers and stuff. The thought of getting anxiety again terrifies me. Yeah, that was the thing that I couldn't handle, the anxiety. Being frightened to walk around, being worried about going to a shop, having to come out, having panic attacks driving, all this sort of thing. Memoirs of an Alcoholic by Jack London. Wow, there's so many books, isn't there? I'm not a big reader, but I should be. Samara, yesterday, but you are a Superman intergalactic. That's true. Very true, sir. I like that. Intergalactic. Excellent. Thomas, I don't know how these payment things work, but if I met you, mate, I'd gladly pay for your help. Well, you don't need to do that, but if you just text this number, I don't know where you live, I shall speak to you. There's also a link on all the videos, descriptions. If you're in the UK, it's just that, and obviously outside the UK, it's +44. Judy, you're not supposed to, please. I'm arranged. Oh God, I don't know. I'm not really a big football person, but I know that I think it's the start of the season, isn't it? But the WhatsApp group is good for chat, just general banter, and everyone on there has got alcohol issues, obviously. Fitzy, I had a relapse a couple of weeks ago, and the anxiety came back with a vengeance. This is that's exactly what happened to me. Exactly what happened to me. The anxiety hit, and I couldn't stop. It was horrendous. I haven't had a drink for 9 days now, and feeling back to my calm self. That's good. Well done, Fitzy. Yeah, it's good that you can get back on track. That's amazing, really, how it can come back so quickly to bite you back, and you're back to square one, aren't you? Next called Guinness Zero is tasty and less than 20 grams of carbs. That's good. Yeah, it is. It's quite a good substitute. But you can socialise. You can't just cut your life off because you don't drink. And you can walk away from a social event and you think, well, I've been there, had a good chat with people, and you've enjoyed it. Rather than still being there at midnight when the bars put the shutters down on the bar and you're hanging around to see if you can find a spare pint, Yeah, well done, Fizzy. You ever been to West Island? The only place I've been in Ireland is Dublin, where we went for a wedding a few weeks ago. I found it expensive, man. But there was one bonus, which was the Guinness Zero was on draft, which was good. That was nice drink, that was. Teddy Mac, now the only sauce we're having is lean pounds, boring but healthy. Well, yeah, it's good. Toasted cheese sandwich, lean pounds. Cannot keep going back to the booze because it's going to kill us. Thank you, Peter. That's my plan. Yeah, so keep healthy, keep happy, and focus on Sunday as well. Fitzy, we've got to stop dancing with the devil. That was a close show. Well done for 9 days. Yeah, you've got to try and keep off it. You've got to feeling calm's good, and this as I said, this feeling of being able to relax without alcohol is key. It's very important. That really is. Okay, I'm gonna wind it up now. I hope it's been helpful. I've enjoyed it tonight. It's been about an hour and 10. It's quick fire. There's no point drawing out much longer. If anybody else has got any questions, then please get in touch. And if anybody wants any help, as I said before, I know I should put this number at the top, shouldn't I? Text me on this number. I'll get back to you at some point. As you can imagine, it is quite busy because I didn't realise myself how many problems people would have, or how many people have problems. Yeah, good job, Fitch. Keep it up. Keep going. Every day is another win. One day at a time. The first day off is the most difficult. It is, yeah. Nightingale, Jill once was on the source for 3 days and started to get DTs. Here, a guy called Heinz was trying to put me at HP laptop. God, yeah. Well done, Joe. Thanks, Samantha, for the kind words. Yeah, keep going. You'll get there. Story. Thanks, Steve. Mods and chat. Good night. Thanks, James, for messaging, and we'll see you tomorrow. I'll put a post up, but I think Sunday is quite important because there are quite a few people here still work, and Sunday affairs can be a bit of a bastard, can't they? And be aware of that, and be aware of if you are going to drink tomorrow, especially James and a couple of others. Pull it down a bit. Try and cut down a little bit. Don't just stop because it's dangerous, And take it easy. And thanks to all the people from overseas, the Australians, the Canadians, and the Americans. And let's get worldwide. And let's say, the more people support, the more I can do, and the bigger we can make this channel. And let's get it worldwide. It's been fantastic. Been a good journey the last 2 months, but it will get better. And God knows where we'll be in another 10 months when we've got we've got a full year under our belt. Hi, Beef. How are you doing? We're going to shoot off now, Beef. I'm going to do about an hour most nights, but I shall speak to you soon. And thanks for all your help, Beef. And such like to line up. Good night, James. I won't drink tomorrow, just until late. I was tonight. Okay, James. We'll knock it off a bit earlier if you can. Thanks for live, Steve. Thanks to everyone for sharing. Yeah, thanks to everybody. Thanks to the moderators, and thanks to everyone who's donated. And thanks for all of your attendance and your much appreciated knowledge and experiences. I'll speak soon and have a good Sunday. Catch you later.